I get my arrow, I bring it up and around. I'm holding 2 arrows now, so I've got my bow. I've got 2 arrows.
2s are better than 1.
And I've got a shooter at 40 yards, and I'm like, what is this? Yeah. The HUNTR Podcast is brought to you by Hoyt.
Should be no surprise to anyone listening to this that back with Hoyt another season. I'm actually going to be shooting the AX2 aluminum this year.
You traitor.
But you're still going RX9.
Yeah, blacked out as always.
Blacked out. Yeah. Big surprise for everyone.
80 pounds. Big surprise. Yeah.
But seriously, man, I mean, it shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. Every year it seems like we get a new Hoyt bow in our hands, and they're always a step above the last and just a step above everybody else.
Yeah, they're so consistent, man. Just their processes get better, every year. And we've really been excited about, as we've grown with Hoyt, we've brought some others in with us. And we just feel like the Hoyt family is growing, like the community, and we're really excited about the people that are involved, excited to be a part of that company. And it's really awesome.
So for anyone that's excited about Hoyt, like Jared and I are, you can use the code HUNTR, HUNTR, on Hoyt.com.
Get serious, get Hoyt.
And we're back.
Hey,
HUNTR Podcast, episode 285. We had a bunch of moving parts, but 285, that's the one. Take it to the bank.
Here we are.
285.
285?
We're back in I don't know. We're caught up now. I was listening to ours even the other day, the one that dropped on Tuesday, and I said, oh, it's October 18th. I'm like, fucking losers. It's like 3 weeks ago.
Catch up. Get with the program.
3 weeks ago. It's not even relevant.
The one we just dropped on Tuesday?
Mm-hmm.
That's one, yeah. I listened to some. That's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. So, but I
was like, these guys are funny.
I noticed that, and I assume 30% of our listeners are like, bastards, like that's a month ago. Like it's not even relevant.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
fair. It's fair.
We're like up to date now. This is November 6th. It's dropping on whatever.
Yeah, it's tough in November because it's just, dude, they're small windows. I mean, we make some. It keeps us honest. That's for sure. Like yesterday, I was debating. I was like, dude, can I just stay in Illinois? Can I just I was like, no, we have to come back and shoot too. And so, I mean, it's good, and we're flexible enough to be able to pull it off that way. And it is super nice too that we can get away sometimes with just, especially during season, of just you and I.
Yeah.
Knocking them out. It's like there's not as much pressure to do guest related stuff.
Plot twist, it's just us.
It's just us today. And but we got stuff to bring to the table here. So
yeah, I mean, during the season when it's kind of like we've got things, and we try to cover it in the Hunt Companion, but most of those are 20 minutes, 30 minutes, unless like we really get strung out on something. So yeah. So, this one is nice just because it's also it's pretty real time. When you're listening to this, like, we're talking about everything that's happening as you're listening to this and what just happened in Illinois on our trip. And yeah, so hopefully there's an appreciation for that in terms of its
definitely
pretty real time. Relevancy is high at this point.
Yeah.
And then we'll also let you in on some stuff that we've got coming up in Kansas here in the next week or so.
Well, let's start with this. If you listen to the Hunt Companion here, you saw this. We did kind of a quick on it, but we shot Kamikaze. Or rather, I should say, I shot him, but we got him. We've been chasing this deer here. This was this past Saturday.
Yeah, there was no tag team shots on this one.
No tag team shots.
Is that the first buck of the year? No tag team shots for you?
When you say tag team, yeah, no back shots on us.
No back shots.
Yeah, so but we got him. So this is the buck that I passed last year during the gun season. The thumbnail of this episode probably will be the picture of us in front of the barn, having shot this buck.
And for context, like we weren't hunting that deer last year, but Jared passed him because he had a bow during gun season, and the deer walked like 12 yards from him.
Yeah.
And so, for most people, passing a mid-40s 8-point is a tough pass, which it was. But
yeah. Well, just the goal for that farm is we're trying to get these deer to, I think, at least 5 years old. And we had that opportunity. Well, there's been a couple cases here now where we've passed some really nice 4-year-olds, and this was one of them. He's probably not the highest scoring 4-year-old that we passed. I passed a 160 during gun season there the year before, but so here he was. Here was one of his sheds from last year when I passed him mid to late November. That was during the gun season. I had a bow, and I was hanging and banging for another deer, another 5-year-old deer at the time. Actually, the one that I'm going back here to hunt in a couple days. But this deer ended up walking 12 yards under me after he'd been shot at by the neighbor with a gun, 20, 30 yards, or minutes before I saw him. So it was like, it's not like a super high odds that this deer was surviving. So I mean, I don't know what.
He covered a lot of ground. In fact,
that's why we called him Kamikaze.
The more that we've learned here, like he covered a lot more than we even thought, to the west and to the south of us. So yeah, the deer was very vulnerable to getting shot last year and this year. We just had a pretty good beat on him this year, which, well, I'll let you tell a story, because I guess part of it is you killed him on a new farm.
Yeah. So we bought a farm.
We bought a farm.
That series is, maybe a little bit behind us, but we bought another, a new farm. Or rather, I should say we're under contract and scheduled to close here in the near future. I guess, I don't know exactly where that started. We probably should tell a little bit of the story of that farm. And we don't have to, I guess we won't mention names or anything, but.
Well, I mean, we've been looking, and the question that's been coming up again in Illinois is, do we buy a farm that's close to our existing farm and potentially hunt the same deer, have more access to the same deer, and have a better chance of getting some of these 4-year-olds through because we control it, and younger deer? Or do we buy a farm that's not close, and therefore we have basically a whole different deer herd to hunt? So that's been the thought process. And you actually went out and looked at a farm in Peoria.
Yep. A couple weeks ago. Yep.
And wasn't the right fit.
Smaller tract. It was like a 60 or an 80. Oh, maybe smaller.
50 something.
Yeah, 50 some acres.
55. I
think.
We're
just looking for another small, good opportunity. Place like that.
80 and under was the goal. I think just from a budgetary standpoint, knowing what land prices are out there, primarily for hunting, but obviously everything that we're looking at is from an investment. So like, even as a hunting farm, like what can we get it for? And then what can we put into it to make it better? And it was by chance that we got connected with this landowner. And we knew about this farm. It's one farm over from ours.
Yeah.
So
we've looked at it many times.
We've drove by it all the time. So there's literally, and I should say there's multiple farms in between us, but it's one like block over from us, essentially.
Like quarter mile maybe.
Yep. And, the couple things that made it attractive is, one, it lays out really nice. It's a mixture. It's almost, I'd say 60% timber, 40% tillable. Very intertwined, though, like not like just a solid block and then the rest is tillable, like very intertwined creek corridors, wood corridors. It also was the thought process that, and we didn't know this, right? This is before we were connecting the dots, that some of the deer that we got the first year and even last year had been living on that farm to our west, and we were like the furthest east that they would come. So they were on our farm, but just not our farm a lot. Kamikaze, however, was one that I think was almost split in 50-50.
Yeah.
He was very much in that place, but he was also on our place. But there were other bucks that had showed up, including the one we talk about a lot is this giant 8-point that lived to the west of us, and like we were the very east range. In fact, last year we got him in February for the first time.
Yeah.
The year before we had him in October, but all at night.
Yeah.
So the question became, and we had a discussion with the seller, was like, okay, well, what deer you got on here?
Yeah.
And we started to make the connection in a couple ways. One, as expected, Kamikaze and some of these other deer that we know were also on that property,
which is super cool. A little bit like uncomfortable because you're like, oh no, like he's got them too.
Yeah, and we the assumption was we thought they were doing that, and it was just the puzzle piece of like, yes, they are doing that.
It's weird to see what in some cases you can't help but feel like, are your deer like you past him? You have this,
there he is,
and there he is in daylight on somebody else's farm. You're like, oh no,
yeah, they could easily go in and kill him. In fact, we talked about it on Kamikaze especially.
Yeah.
The other thing was, and not this year, but from late last year, is pictures of that giant 8 and another buck that we tied to a deer that we had on camera the first year. As a 3-year-old last year would have been a 4-year-old if he made it. This year will be a 5-year-old. So quickly, I think you and I had the conversation like, okay, it is close, so we have the same deer, but it sure seems like there are also different deer on there that makes it kind of a perfect mix. Right? Has the same deer that we're hunting, but also has new deer that don't make it over to us or only make it over to us very infrequently, which is what we're looking for. Because like you said, it's quarter mile. We can drive the tractor there. We can walk there. Like it's all right there. And just the way that the habitat and these deer ranges kind of overlap, that became it. So I've had multiple conversations with the seller leading up, and basically we're like, hey, we're going to be out there sometime at the end of October. Like, let's just meet up and look at it. And probably like days before that trip, you and I are like, seems like the one. Mm-hmm. Like if we can get it for the right price, it seems like we should buy it.
Well, and we got our butts and gear on the back end, like started talking to a lender right away. And so,
which for what it's worth, anybody that has land, one of the big reasons is we've been operating our original farm at like a 7.8% interest rate, because that's just what it was when we bought it,
which is terrible.
And they honestly, up until just recently, hadn't got much better.
Yeah,
like just what they were.
Yeah.
And so we've been talking about refinancing, because obviously a big part of us buying another farm is like, can we get our payments down? Because then that will help us on this. We can leverage equity and we can get our payments down, which then means our mortgage payment is not that much more if we get that down. So yeah, we could say it, right? I mean, we're using Comp here.
Yep.
Which I don't know where they cover. This is for Illinois. Like, I don't know if they cover other states or not.
I believe they're actually tied to the larger like Horizon brand. You know, so like here in PA, it's, you know, we have Farm Credit. Yep. There's other branches of it kind of across the Midwest, but I believe that's who they're based out of.
Okay, so we're using Comp here.
Comp here Financial is what it is.
And so we got a quote for 585.
Yep. 5-year arm, amortized at over 30 years at 585.
Yep, which is what we wanted.
And they're willing to assume our original mortgage that's currently at the 785, and we've got enough equity in that to bring no money down to the new farm. So basically, no money down on the new farm, refinance both under the 585 arm, and freaking there you go.
Yeah, and so our monthly mortgage payment, I won't go into the exact numbers, and I know there's been a ton of requests. I'm listening. Of like, hey, we really want to go into a detail of like how you guys are buying farm, how you're using equity.
Yeah.
Like what we're going to do a full podcast on that. My guess is it's going to be outside of the season just because of how things go, but I promise you we will do a full podcast on that. Maybe that's one that we open up a question and answer type live thing for, just because I know there's a lot of questions on that. But in the interim, because of that refinancing, because we're going to do all that, our monthly mortgage is going to go up because we're buying 80 acres, but not by that much. And so all of the things check the box. We got the approval from the wives, and we said, let's go.
Yeah.
So we actually submitted an offer to the seller driving out there on Wednesday. And he was cool as hell. I had a couple phone calls back and forth, a couple things we had to massage in and out of there. We came to a term agreement and we all executed it, with the biggest thing being we received exclusive and immediate hunting rights to the property.
Which is fairly common, you know, on properties in the Midwest, hunting properties.
Yep. And part of that was because, you know, we didn't know what the future was going to hold here, but, you know, especially for that 5 to 6 day trip was like, that's my main Illinois trip. So like, you know, it's not that I'm not going to buy the farm necessarily if we don't come to terms.
Yeah, but you want to jump on.
I'm more likely to make a deal with you if you include those terms. So he did, and we got the terms. So effectively, that afternoon he signed, and we were able to hunt that property, and I did. I hunted that property that afternoon when we got in.
Yep.
Couple other things, just in case you're following along with this, is because we don't own the property, our landowner tags are not good for it. So we went out and purchased just our standard non-resident archery permit.
Yep.
So we have a non-resident archery permit and we have a non-resident archery landowner tag.
Yep.
In which, like, if we hunted the new property, which you did, and you killed this, you tag them with the statewide tag.
Yep.
And now you have a tag valid for our original 145 acre farm.
Yep. So I'm done on the 80.
Until we close, and we got to figure out the logistics around that from the DNR.
That's right. Yep.
But yes, effectively, right now you could only hunt the original 145.
Yep.
That's what the tag's good for.
Yep.
Okay. Now I've set the table.
So that's the premise of how we came into this 80 here, and like, you know, that's super exciting. And in the meantime, you know, we've gotten news just a few days before that the owner of the original farm, who we had let stay in the
Carl,
house.
for everyone knows.
Yeah, we let Carl stay in the house for 2 years, technically, is what our contract said. At the end of which time, we weren't in a hurry to kick him out. It's nice to have somebody.
We had the conversation. Yeah.
It's nice to have somebody at the house there and stuff. And he needed a place to stay. So it's like, and we have other friends and stuff. So we're like, yeah, dude. And, frankly, in the meantime, he's letting us use the tractor and like all this other stuff. So it was a good deal for both of us. And
he had told me when we came out when was the last time we were out there before hunting season? You came out. You went out.
I was out there early October.
Yeah, but I was out there in August, I think.
When we planted Nebraska, so it would have been like end of July.
He told me that he had bought a house in the neighboring town.
Yeah.
And that he was planning on moving. At that point, I was like, hey,
whenever.
I was like, there's no rush. Like, Phil, at your convenience, that's fine. I'm not pressing you. I know there's a contract, but like, I'm fine. And he was like, okay, great.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, we got the call that, at the end of October, he was moving out effectively.
Yep. So that was that. So we knew that going in. We're like, dude, we're gonna have this house freed up. It's gonna be the first time we've been in this house since before we put an offer on the original farm.
Besides stopping in and seeing Carl.
Yeah, which is over 2 years ago. So we're like, what's that look like? Are we gonna, And so we had all these moving parts going out there. We're like, we got a new farm contract being negotiated. Financing coming into order on that. I had arranged to have a contractor that we've worked with in the past come out and meet us at the new house, and I don't know. Felt like at the time there was 3 or 4. We had a
couple access conversations going on.
Talking to some neighbors about permission to access certain areas and stuff, and. So there was a lot of things kind of that all were.
We had a live podcast scheduled. Yep. As much as it was like we're going to Illinois to hunt, it's like we had a full schedule. Full schedule for sure.
Full schedule. I was trying to rope in an in-person guest out there. That hasn't happened yet, but that's coming, I think, at some point. And so all that stuff was unfolding, and on top of strategy, just trying to figure out, okay, how, who are we after? How's this going down here and stuff? And obviously that's our main priority. Yeah. So basically, I think the way it went was the first couple days were slow. Like really, we just weren't seeing a lot. It felt like early November is what it just felt like. Hey, they're not doing the thing yet,
or the big ones are already with them,
or we're just not seeing the rutting activity. We just weren't seeing a whole lot of it.
Yeah, we had planned to hunt it like a pre-rut. We're like, we're gonna hunt scrapes, but it definitely, I would say by the second day, so probably by Thursday or even Friday morning, it was like these big ones are locked down. They're already on does.
Trying to recall our hunts, I think we'd had some daylight activity on the big one that I think I went and hunted for the first 2 or 3 sets. That's what I was doing.
Yep.
I was on the northern end of the farm, hanging and banging. I had a good, actually decent encounter with a 3-year-old that first day. Where did you sit the first 2 or 3 sets?
New farm, and I saw that really big. I don't know if he's 2 or 3. That 9.
You did have some. That first sit was decent of yours.
Yep. I don't know if we're calling that 9-3, probably that real tall, heavy one.
Yeah.
Saw him the first night. Had him working a scrape right by me. Next morning, I was in there. Saw a 2-year-old.
Yep. Just hang and bang. Just picked a spot on the map and
picked a spot on the map.
We literally like, hey, we just bought this farm. Where do you want to hunt it tonight?
Yeah, just was like, I'm just gonna go in there and sit there. So yeah, I saw those the first couple nights or first morning, and then I'm trying to think where I went. I think I went into Corn Cove, maybe.
Yeah, I think you did too.
Because I think I sat 3 days or 3 times in a row or something in Corn Cove, evening, morning.
Oh,
so 4. Because I started sitting there, 4. Because it was I think Friday morning is when we're assuming I saw the really big 4-year-old. We have like a 160-inch 4-year-old. And it was just getting light in a CRP field, which we're kind of treating as dead space, which failed me. But I could hear him tending grunting coming from the corner towards me, just, and I finally got binos on him, and I saw frame. That's all you can see. And he disappeared behind a tree, like that's in front of me, not like in the field, and like vanished, like UFO. I don't know what happened, where he went. I assume he cut back into where we call our honey hole spot and down in there. But he vanished. And then, pretty non-eventful, like the next 2 hunts. So it was Saturday morning that you and I were sitting there. I remember texting you in the morning. We were back and forth. We were like, dude, the air just felt heavy, felt humid, heavy.
This is Friday?
This was Saturday morning when you killed.
Well, so before we get to that, Friday is when we had the conversation with the neighbor about access. So we hadn't hunted that part of the farm because we didn't have that yet. We wanted to talk to them in person. And
the previous seller, I should say, had access through the neighbor, and we know the neighbor, but just so we weren't asking for something that they hadn't done previously.
Yep. And I'd already texted them, and they were like, "Yep, it's no problem."
Yeah, no problem.
But we just wanted to get some face-to-face time and like make sure that
it's our neighbor.
Yeah, that was all good to go. And frankly, this is the same neighbor with the dogs that has been running our property. So I think it's I think it's a testament to I could have gone and yelled at them and been a dick about it, and I did say something, I said, "Hey, this is an issue. Like, we'd like to have this addressed," but
she's trying.
Not to the point where, and she is absolutely, she did a great job, and I thanked her up and down for that. Yep. I said, "Hey, I can tell that you've made an effort that really means a lot to us here." And so I think even just over the past couple of days, our relationship with her has gone from
it's been awesome
4 to a much better.
You got deer meat too,
or to a 6, whatever it was before. You know what I mean? We were able to give her some of that deer meat and stuff. So, anyways, Friday she gave us that permission. We were like, "Dude, we're in. Like, we got it."
Hadn't looked at this spot either. Just on the map, we're like,
"Yeah, it's a spot."
It's a spot.
I was like, "Okay, I'll be back in 15 minutes with my stand. I'm gonna run in there with my custom gear." And sure enough, that access is freaking dynamite. It's exactly what you need. It's like those spots we talk about, like Tin Shed Gas Line, a handful of others where it's like it's a pasture, which I'm treating as essentially as dead space, and it inserts you right into either the bedding area, or in this case, it's a rut ridge immediately adjacent to a thick unpressured
at least 1 or 2 bedding areas. Yeah.
So
anything west wind is golden, basically.
So I'll slow it down here and kind of tell this part of it is so we go back to the house after we get permission. We dress. I don't know how we always somehow just land on who's going where, and we kind of jockey.
Yeah.
Better spot opportunity.
Yeah. I had already hunted the farm, and so I was back into Corn Cove essentially.
What was the better? Corn Cove was the good spot that you hunted the night before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I would have gone there if you didn't. Probably.
Yeah.
So that was your up, and then I was like, all right, well, hey, if I can get permission, I'm gonna go.
Yeah, I left everything hanging in there.
You did
for 2 days in a row.
That's right. I'm like, I'm gonna go push to that knob and see what I can see. Hopefully it's what I thought. I remember, and we can look at the text exchange there and stuff, but I was like, I parked at the house, or rather, I think you dropped me off. You dropped me off.
I did drop you off.
Dropped me off. I had my custom gear, and I mean, dude, just not time for a commercial here, but we couldn't do half of what we do without those custom gear setups.
Yeah, it's correct.
Just how tightly I can pack everything on there, and how dude, it's like I got nothing on my back. I'm going to go to exactly where I need to be. I'm going to slip in there, and I'm going to be in it in less than 10 minutes.
I'm trying to think. We had a little bit, not much, but we had a little northwest wind that evening.
We did, northwest.
So the plan was, because originally we were like, boy, if we can just get to the edge of this, and again, we hadn't seen it. If we can get to the edge of this, but then it was like, boy, that's really close with a little northwest in the wind. So, and it turned out, because once you got in there, you saw actual habitat edges, which changed the mindset too.
Yes. The HUNTR Podcast is brought to you by Predator Camo.
Man, this one feels good, right? I know people have been looking at this picture over your shoulder for a while now. I think that was 2018, but we just, over the last, how many years, keep coming back to Predator Camo because it's been so damn good for us.
No doubt. I think we bought our first set off of Jen at the Archer Trade Show almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And Jen's still with the company, and the patterns have only improved since then. They actually were recently acquired within the past couple of years. We've had a chance this past year to go and meet with new ownership, talk about redesigning a lot of the old lines, plans for new patterns, all of the above. So really excited about what's to come, not only this coming year, but in years to come. There's a lot of good stuff coming from Predator.
Yeah, and I mean, for us, it's always been going back to that breakup pattern, right? That's the historic look, whether you're talking about the spring greens or brown deceptions or fall grays. Yeah. I mean, that breakup is really what's been so powerful for us in a tree stand. And right now, they're letting anyone use the code HUNTR on the Predator Camo website and get 20% off any of the lines, including all the new stuff that dropped here in July.
Be the Predator. So you drop me off. I walk back through the pasture. I'm like, first virgin walk in on this spot here. I'm like, oh,
new farm.
That was my first time on the farm. Other than the day before, we'd gone and drove around a little bit and looked at
a couple cameras.
But first time on this ridge, first time. So I'm like, let's go see what we see. And I creep back there and I walk through the pasture. I'm like, dude, the topography is even more advantageous than I was expecting.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is good.
Yep.
And I start getting back there and I go from the first pasture it's a tiered system, to the second pasture, to the third pasture. And I get to the fence row where it meets our property. And I'm like looking at this ridge and I'm like, it just has a feel. And I'm like, yeah. There is one very clear, distinct spot where a tree's fallen down and I could cross the fence back to, which is funny because like the horses could.
Well, she even said, like, she's like, yeah, they just don't leave.
Yeah, her horses just don't leave, or they're locked in there. But there's a very easy spot to cross the fence there. In fact, dude, it could be a lot worse. Like some of the earlier parts of the pasture, like could be a pain in the butt to cross that fence. But like it's all just you just basically walk over. It's super easy. So I get back, I get to our property line there, and I start, slowing it down. It's just couldn't have asked for better condition, like high wind day, plenty of good cover to get in there. I step over into our property, and I start. There's an old 4-wheeler road there that I can tell has been cleared at one point.
It was like a property line road.
Property line road, yeah. And I'm like, I get onto that, and I'm like, obviously deer will walk that, And so I'm like, okay, here's my back wall. I'm like, the further you get from that, the riskier your setup is.
They can slip in.
Yeah. And the further southwest that I walk, which is the direction I want to go, the riskier I run, the riskier you get as far as blowing a northwest wind back into this bedding area.
And gnarly bedding area. Probably, 20 acres, 25 acres?
Yeah. And so basically what I did was I just, from that point right there, I made a left and I walked up this road here, just enough to get a good vantage point on the ridge. And now I could see across the ridge and I could see a pretty hard edge of whatever,
just brush,
foliage, brush, whatever. I'm like, hey, that's thick with autumn olive and other stuff on the other side of it there. I wasn't expecting that. That locked in my corridor. I'm like, dude, there's a 50-yard wide funnel here that it's super isolated and it connects bedding area to feeding in another bedding area off in this. I'm like, this is it. This is the spot.
Yeah.
And pretty easily, I'm like, there's a perfect walnut tree, like right in the middle of that ridge here, 15, 20 yards off the fence line.
Which is not the best cover, but you have what you have.
It's okay. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It's
honestly, when I got down there, you were skylit a little bit, but I think that's where that predator open pattern really helps.
Yeah. And frankly, where we were standing is not where I expected them to be.
Sure. That's a good point.
Not where I expected them to be.
That's a good point.
Yeah, you expect them to be on the ridge in front of you.
We're looking right up at you, and it's just, I can see your platform and sky.
Yeah, from down there.
Yep.
Well, frankly, from that point is where I walk in at. So I'm like,
yeah, they shouldn't come.
Shouldn't be there, but turn off. Yeah, that's where I end up shooting.
That's what they do.
Spoiler alert. Dude, it just went so perfectly. Like everything was clicking. We got this farm under contract. We got the permission. We got into the house. I got in there clean. The conditions were perfect. We'd gotten this buck on camera the day before when we put the cameras out.
In the evening
or whatever we got. I don't know. And I'm like, there's the tree. I'm like, that's not. I take my time. I look at a couple others. I'm like, I'm gonna make sure I don't miss it here. Because when I hung in North Dakota that time, I was off by 10 yards. You know what I mean? It can literally make it. So I was just take it all in. I land on this tree. I only creep off that road maybe 10 yards. Probably not even.
Yeah, not much.
10 yards maybe. Nice big walnut tree. I get to it. I look around. I don't see any sign. I do take note of them. Like, I don't see a lot of sign
We
here.
were talking about that because it's like, you said, the thought process is like, this is a major travel corridor for these deer between basically two bedding areas, as well as a lot of food that's underneath them. And you would expect to see, a lot of rubs and maybe some scrapes.
You'd think, yeah.
And it just, there were some rubs and stuff. We saw them when we were in there, but like it's not all tore up.
No. And for some reason it didn't deter me at all. I was like, from a topography standpoint, I was like, this is it. It's got everything. So it didn't really bother me. Yep. I was just like, this is the tree. Let's get in it.
Yep.
And dude, from the scouting to the hang, it just went so easy. Like the tree was exactly the right size. You know what I mean? Not struggling with straps. So I get up there, nice, clean, easy hang. I feel like I'm being super quiet. I get in the tree, camera, I got that Lone Wolf custom gear, the camera arm too. Give a shout out to that dude. It's like it's sweet for filming with your phone, which is what we use. Perfect size, goes right around. It's like a nice straight-ish tree with just a little bit of, blend in front of you to cover and stuff. So it's like, dude, I got in the tree easy. It's just like, it was going well. I almost texted you and was like, I'm probably not going to kill anything because it's like, it's all gone so smooth here. But what I did text you was just like, dude,
spot.
I said something like, this is one of the best that I've ever been in, because it felt, it just had it all. And so, anyways, settle in. The conditions, I remember, that they were good. They were good that night. Yeah, that heavier air didn't start setting in until the next morning. So I had a great set that night. I had it was pretty quiet for a while, but then sure enough, whatever it was, 5 o'clock maybe, I look over and there's a pretty nice heavy 2-year-old deer at 30 yards slipping out of that bedding area. And sure enough, he walks down, 10 yards, maybe it's like 15 yards in front of me. And he rubs a tree right in the middle of this intersection, and I'm like, really rubbed it. And after he left, I'm like, I see no difference. Like, so that made me think like, dude, they're rubbing these trees. Like, it was a hickory.
Yeah, it was more of a scent. Deposit type thing.
Yeah, so I'm like, there's rubs. I can't see them, and just because of the whatever kind of trees they are, I guess. But so he rubbed that and then moved right on down off. And I'm like, dude, perfect encounter. I'm like that.
Yep, that's what it needs to be.
That's what you want. I think that was the only deer I saw that night. But I'm like, this is the spot. We're gonna. I was like, I'm gonna just leave my stuff in here and come back. And so that's the classic move, right? Just leave it alone. Leave everything hanging. I don't know if I grabbed anything, but just got down, got out that night, clean exit. So then that night we went and got dinner with our buddies, or rather, Tony shot a buck.
Yeah, Tony shot a buck.
So we ran to,
went to Spoonies
and grabbed some food, and we took that over to our
met
people.
Alex from the whitetail group while we were at Spoonies.
Yeah. Just funny, every time we're in there, you run into somebody.
Got to hang out and shoot the shit with him while we were waiting for our food, have a couple beers.
That's right. And
got our food, went to Casa de Paul, which people have heard us.
Casa de Paul.
Yeah, ate dinner with him and Tony and celebrated Tony's buck.
Yeah. And was telling him about this new spot. Telling him, I'm like, and I'm telling him right there, I'm like, dude, it's the spot. I was like, I don't know where I got that number from, but I was like, there's a 40% chance.
40% of the time it works every time.
That I'm going to see that deer tomorrow morning. So sure enough, we go back to our spots in the morning. You're hunting Corn Cove?
I'm back. I left all my stuff in Corn Cove.
You're back at Corn Cove. I slipped back into the new ridge, and it feels a little heavier, like up more humid that day.
It was cold though, because I remember you weren't going to bring your jacket, and you were like, I would have froze my ass off if I didn't have my jacket.
Might not have happened if I had. I would have
probably been got out, because we were texting about it. Like, I think I have to look back. We were talking about like getting out at like 8:45, or just like it. It didn't feel like it was going to happen. Just was heavy air. I don't know if either of us saw anything in the morning.
Yep, it was real slow. I saw maybe about 8 or 8:30. I saw 2 does slink up through that autumn olive stuff up into the bedding area. That was the only deer that I'd seen. But then whatever it was maybe 8:45-ish, probably 8:45 to 9 o'clock. We got a picture of a doe on a scrape down below me in the ag field with this deer following him. And it was just not the greatest picture.
Yeah, I just said, that looks mature.
Yeah, you're like, that looks like a good deer, Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, that's Kamikaze. I went and looked at a couple of the other pictures, and I'm like, he's a little far off, but I'm like,
you could just see the
just doing the thing. It's that classic lockdown picture where the doe's in the front and he's just in the back, like lingering.
He's just 20 yards behind her,
just lingering. And
yeah.
So and he was generally moving in my direction, like kind of. We're like, okay. So I'm like, yeah, dude. I mean, they could come up here if they're gonna try to work back up to this bedding. I was like, so it's great, and we're texting and stuff, and I'm on the new farm, so I'm literally got my little S Pen out on my on my Android here. I'm drawing like where these food plots should go here and stuff, and I was literally doing that. I had 3/4 of the text sent, and I was getting ready to send it to you. You might have texted me in the meantime and said, like, I'm getting out here pretty soon.
Yeah, I said I'm done. I'm getting out here.
I'm getting out. And so I'm like, and I'm at the tail end of my sit there too. Yeah. And I look up and I'm pretty sure I see them both, pretty simultaneously. I look up, I see the doe, and I see him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy cow! Like he's right there.
Not from where you thought they were going to come.
No, not exactly. They had come further east than I thought and would have liked. Like she rather than walking this ridge up in front of me, or even weaving through the thick stuff out in front, she came straight like this to the road. That property line road that I mentioned there first, and walked up it and was going to go right to the gap that I walked through from the pasture and go out in the pasture and probably run across it over
and then go into the thicket on the
which
other
is
side.
Just dumb. It's just stupid. And it puts them directly downwind of me because I'm blowing my wind, which that's the wind to hunt it on.
Well, and that topography in the field makes them feel safe. They do that. Seeing how she was going to do it, it's like they do that a lot.
Yeah.
And it's just there's nothing you can do. Like, you still have to hunt it on that wind, but like there will be deer that slip in downwind of you because of it.
Well, and that's where hanging that stand 10 yards different in any direction probably would have screwed me. Because if you were going to go in any direction, you'd have gone maybe further south or further west, maybe.
Yeah, and it would have been tough.
Yeah. So I'm glad I hung it where I hung it. So... But that's basically what was the encounter. I look up and I'm like, holy crap. Like,
there he is.
And so here's where it starts to get interesting. So I stand up immediately, and the GoPro will keep me honest on the timeline here probably, but like I'm pretty sure almost immediately, because he's on the far opposite side, like over my right shoulder and moving further, so it's not the best spot for a shot. And my bow is hanging completely on this side, which is fine if I'm going to do this right to the front here, but I got to go all the way this way and then all the way this way. So I grab my bow right away. I bring it around. And I get to like kind of about here, like halfway 3/4 turn.
You're messing with your camera. Your phone camera. I remember you looking down, reaching for your phone camera to get it in position on them.
Yeah, probably trying to get my camera on them. In the meantime, I'm pretty sure she looks up right at me, and they're just rutting. Like she's ditzy. He's like just not looking at any. He's just at her, just like reading her language and stuff, and like he's not leaving her. And so at some point, she gets to like the edge of my scent cone, probably, and for sure, at one point she looks at me, and I'm like, how quickly these things can start to fall apart. And then she like looks away, and I gain a little composure, and I move a little bit more, and I realize that my bow's like hung up at some point, and I like kind of pull it, and I hear click, and I look out, and my beast broadhead is deployed, and I'm like, oh no, like I don't even know what I thought exactly in the moment, but like. It's falling apart. It's falling apart.
Not
like,
good.
How does this happen? And so the broadhead deploys, and I'm like,
you got snagged. We look back at the GoPro.
Yeah.
You got snagged on a small tree, like a cherry or something there. That
yeah. Well, it was a limb off the wall that I was in.
Yeah.
Which is my one little bit of cover. I'm glad it's there. I just wasn't paying attention, and any broadhead, I pulled it. I engaged it. It was my fault. And so the thing is off, and I'm like. Fortunately I've tinkered with those broadheads enough to know like you're not gonna
reach out there and close it.
Not gonna reset it especially with one hand.
No,
it's got to basically come off and push it against a tree, or you got to have two hands on it.
You get your little thimble gloves on or something.
Which I don't have my finger condoms. I don't hunt with them. Hunt without protection. But so pretty quick thinking on my part here.
In retrospect, we've reflected on this moment a lot. Like 95% of guys would have not been able to keep the composure you're about to talk about.
Well, so I wasn't gonna not let it happen because of that. I'm like, I got 3 more arrows, like 2 arrows with broadheads in my quiver and 1 more with a field point on it. So immediately I, bring my bow the west way around, get the camera on them, wait for my moment where they're not looking at me. I reach down and I grab another arrow out of the quiver, which I'm not hunting with on my bow anymore. That probably would have made it a little easier,
probably.
But regardless, I hang it right here off the same easy hanger that my pack is hanging on.
Mm-hmm.
I get my arrow, I bring it up and around, I'm holding 2 arrows now. So I've got my bow. I've got 2 arrows.
Twos are better than one.
And I've got a shooter at 40 yards. And I'm like, what is this? You know, and I'm able to set off my QAD, drop it down on, you know, always know to set your finger into there, stop the click, and then pop my arrow off. And I look and I wait for my moment and I just drop the arrow straight out of the tree, straight down.
Sounds like an acorn.
Sound like a little acorn or something. They never looked, never did anything. Click my new arrow in. I'm re-engaged. Okay, so I've got over this hump here now. I got a new arrow, fully engaged.
That's a big moment there.
They haven't run away yet. We're back in the game here. I get the rest.
You think she's like frozen in that, like she smells you, she's not sure, she's eyeballing the pasture to make sure it's clear? Because that took some time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well,
they covered a decent amount of ground there pretty quickly. And now she's like hung up there, as is he.
Easily 5, if not pushing 10 minutes where she's in my scent cone and or standing on the spot where I crossed the fence.
Yep.
Which I know is 25 yards. So I'm like, if she runs for it and decides to go out that way, I was like, I'm going to shoot him on that trail at 25 yards. Mm-hmm. So and initially I have my dial at 25 yards. I'm ready to shoot him there. But he's just standing there, you know, basically you know, straight on. You know, there's no shot there or anything. And she's standing probably at 25 yards. I could shoot her basically where she's standing, and he's just like behind her on the road. So then eventually he's just, you know, he's just watching her. He's waiting for her next move. He can tell that she's uneasy. You know, I don't know if he ever gets my wind at some point. I don't see, he doesn't act like it.
No, he just sees her behavior of like she sees something or knows something.
Yeah, he sees her. In fact, and I'll show you the footage. I did find it. He snort wheezes at one point. I think just out of seeing her,
absolutely,
he sees her like
locked up, tense. Something's there. Thinks it's probably another buck. Like makes sense.
Yep. So he gives a little like. Like just clear, you know, just and looks around, just does the little thing, just like, hey, step off, you know. And
what a stud!
Yeah, he let his presence be known.
He didn't care who it was. He was just like, this is my place.
Mm-hmm. And so eventually, she's still standing in the same spot. She's been there now for I bet it's 10 minutes.
Wow,
know? 8 minutes, maybe eight minutes. And he eventually takes a few more steps up the trail, which brings him to like 35 yards. And then he turns, and I almost think he was like looking at a little licking branch or something.
I think I remember seeing that in the video.
But he turns to where he's pretty much broadside from me there. And at that moment, I grab the old Bushnailer and I throw it up and I range him again at 35 there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he's got to die right there.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm like, I could be running out of time here, kind of a thing. And so the trick, I never understand why people don't do this. They like just draw and then they're fighting with their draw cord, like their
tether,
their harness strap. You know what I mean? So dude, when you're going to draw like that face in the tree, you got to bring your other hand over. And so I'm like, this is how I draw. And then I slowly come to full draw.
Well, yeah, but you moved it. You moved your tether. You pulled it down.
Oh yeah.
Because you knew that you were going to have to go up over it. So when they weren't looking, you pulled it down to make it easier to reach over it.
That's right. I noticed there was a little bit of tension. I'm very intentional about making sure, you know what I mean? I'm not shortcutting it. You know what I mean? I'm doing it right. Pull that down, make sure I have like plenty of space here to get over this. Slide that down, get it on, get it back to full draw, and you're in it now. Like I'm in it now. I'm at full draw on this thing. He's at 35 yards. I've dialed my pin to 35 yards, you know, before I adjusted my harness strap there. And I freaking just put it on him and I let it fly. And he goes down immediately.
You drop him.
What I see. Yep. And so I think I saw where I hit. I saw everything, you know, so I hit a little high. I mean, arguably 5 inches higher than you'd want.
Yep. But right in line with the crease, just high.
Yeah, perfect left and right. Yeah, and he goes down immediately and like rolls over. I see the back legs go completely useless, you know, but you don't know if you're spying him or if he just like if it's the shock of it, if he's gonna get back up and try to, you don't know. So I see that happen. I think the doe runs off like almost immediately. She runs out in the pasture. He's down. I immediately go for another arrow.
You have one arrow left.
I go for another arrow. I put it in.
You draw.
I draw. Yep. I don't range him again or anything. I draw and I'm on it. And then you have to watch the video back to see. It's like in my mind, at some point, I'm like, wait,
he's not going anywhere.
This is my last arrow.
Yeah.
Not only is he not, I'm like, first of all, okay, I've watched him now for 5-10 seconds, like 15 seconds.
He's not going to just get up.
Okay, he hasn't gotten up yet. And I'm like, this is my last broadhead. I was like, this needs to be a killing shot. And so I let it down and I range him again. He's at 39 now. And he just so happens to have laid in a spot where he's quartering away from me hard. Not a big target, but I can slip one in under his ribs, you know, and, so I range him, I calibrate, and I draw back. Really take my time on this one. I put a perfect second arrow in him, you know, within 30 seconds maybe of the second arrow, of the first arrow. And that's history. You know what I mean? That's kind of it, you know. So I watch him it maybe takes him another 5-10 minutes to expire. That second arrow probably gets one lung, maybe liver and one lung, just because of the angle.
Probably.
And...
yeah, it was interesting that first shot. When we immediately watched it, I'm like, I don't know if you hit spine. Like, it didn't look that high.
Yeah.
But because of where you were with the shoulder blade, like that spine drops there before it comes up into the neck.
Yeah.
And so that lower point of the spine is what you hit. Now, also, I think we looked like it for sure looked like there was lung blood coming out of him too, out of that entrance. So I assume that you hit the lung as well as when you hit that spine, just like clip the top or whatever it was.
Well, and I'll post it at some point here. I've got a picture of like from the tenderloin angle on him. Like once you get him gutted here, you can see it come right through the middle of the spine, or if not the lower portion of the spine, and then through the upper tier of the one side of the cavity, and then it's buried in the opposite.
That's where it probably caught the lung.
Caught the top of the lung there, and then it buried in the opposite side ribs.
Yep, that makes sense. Yeah.
So... so that was it then. And then, I called you.
You called me, and I was literally, I just had got out of the tree stand.
Yeah.
Cause you're like, I got him. I'm like, what? I was like, I'm out of my stand. Cause I was like, it was 10 o'clock at that point.
Yeah. I think I shot him at 9:30. It's about when I shot him.
Yep. Yeah.
9:15 or 9:30.
It was definitely after 9:15, I bet. Okay. I bet it was like 9:30s.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, because I was walking out Corn Cove Trail, and you're like, I got him. I'm like, what? It was like, and it makes sense from where we saw him going up and stuff. But, and you said, you're like, I spined him. I shot him again. Like, he's dead. He was either dead or about to die at that point when I talked to you on that side. And at that point, I don't think I knew about the arrow thing, like the arrow going off and all that. He was dead.
I had the whole
he was dead
conversation recorded. Maybe we'll drop that at some point. But
it was like,
yeah. So I called. I talked to you. I talked to Brackett, surprisingly, but he's been tracking with this deer with us enough. I called my dad. I called Margie. I don't know, maybe Corey or something. I called him, but Dale. I talked to Dale on the stand. And I try to be intentional about, it's like you want to remember who you called and like the conversations you had in that moment.
Yeah.
So I was in the tree for another half hour.
Yeah, because how did you get back? Did I pick you up? No, you drove in that morning.
I drove in that morning.
Because I came back, got changed, and got the tractor ready so we could go get
everything ready to rock.
Because it was a 3-minute drive with the tractor to go get them.
Yep. So after the phone calls, I got down. It went through my head of like, I'm not going to pack anything. I'll just get down. But I was like, no, just pack everything up here.
Left the tree stand hanging.
I got everything else down out of the tree. And so to walk out, I got to basically walk pretty close to him, pretty past him, So I just walked the normal trail that I would walk to get out, which puts me maybe 20 yards from him. And I put the binos up and I look at him, and I'm like, yeah, that's Rickon. He's a stud. He's a stud. And then I just walk out and come back, drive back. We meet up, get the tractor. I text the neighbor and get permission I say, hey, I shot one. Is it okay if we run the tractor back through the pasture to get him? She said, yep, just close the gates, no problem. And so that's what we do. We drive the tractor back. We go recover him. And
I think my initial impact with him was his body size. I was like, that's a horse of a deer. And you're looking at a 5-year-old Western Illinois buck, but I'm like, that's a big deer. Like I think I said, I was like, that's a 260 plus on the hoof deer.
Mm-hmm. Well, dude, I just haven't shot a whole lot of like, I mean, we both have shot them, but it's not every day that you are looking at a 5+ year old Midwestern deer, like you said, and even older than that. You know, I mean, the 6-year-old. I mean, once they really start getting up there in age, like they're an impressive animal to look at.
A monster,
big bodied
monster animal.
Yeah.
And I mean, everything else, like we knew, you know, we had so many pictures of him this year that like, you know, we knew very much of like what he looked like awesome brows, good beams, good spread, great time length. Like, you know, it in the end of it, it's, you know, there is no downfall. Like he's just, that's a well above big 8-point. Like they make bigger 8-points for sure. We've seen them, but like a mid 50s 8-point is a hammer of an 8-point.
Yeah. Well, and it's one of those things like, it's like, yeah, you could let him go another year or two and he probably gets into the 60s.
Yeah. More mass.
But, you know, he's never going to be like
I don't think he ever would have been like, oh, next year he's a 10-point.
Yeah, he's just an 8-point at the end of the day.
No.
You know, so you don't pass those deer. You know, I passed him last year, which was even debatable, but you know, it was cool, and I got lucky enough to catch back up with him. He put about 10 inches on. You know, we figured he was mid 40s here and mid 50s here.
Well, and we talked about it. I don't think, you know, unfortunately, unless you have large acreage, like most times if you pass up a 4-year-old deer and hope to kill him at 5, it doesn't happen very often.
Well, that's what we were like running through them in our head here before. I don't think I've ever shot a deer, number one, that I've passed before.
Mm-hmm.
And certainly not one that I have even a shed off of before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was cool history.
Yeah, so I was like, man, that was just super cool that we were able to tie it together and like, yeah, dude, you don't pass that deer. That's a mid 50s 5-year-old 8-point.
And I mean, that's why you do it though. I mean, that was the deserving factor of like, you let that deer walk by last year at 12 yards with a bow during gun season, and you got rewarded for it.
And there was no like, well, let's go in and see if we can see him and see what he looks like, and maybe I'll, you know, it was like, no, we're
for this year.
Yeah, we're like,
no, dude,
he's on the list. We're going to
honestly, he was number 1 on the list because we didn't really have a lot of intel.
Most killable for sure.
Yeah, he was the most killable on the list for sure. The crazy part, and I mean it, you know, at least the week that we were there, and it could have changed, but like, had we not had the new property, he would have been tough to kill. Because of the way that he was behaving and where he was bedding. Like, he definitely used our property a lot. We had a lot of pictures of him, and we had a lot of intel from him last year. But, you know, where he was bedding in a daylight side, it was a hit or miss. Like, he essentially, where he was bedding primarily, I'm not saying because he did bet on us as well, but where he bedded primarily, he would have to have crossed a road to get to our property versus where you killed him was on the same side.
Yeah.
And so that was a big thing. Like, again, maybe we would have caught up to him later in the week. But he, for sure, having the new property made him a lot more killable.
Yeah.
Which was a big factor because that deer was our most killable deer to begin with anyways.
Yeah.
So, because the rest of the week was pretty slow until last day when you saw the big one.
HUNTR Podcast is brought to you by Deer Grow.
Man, hard to believe, but Deer Grow has been the sponsor that's been there since the beginning of the HUNTR Podcast. Back in 2021, I think that they were the only partner that we had, but it's such a cornerstone brand and set of products for our food plot strategy throughout the year.
No doubt. And it seems like we used to have an off season, but not so much anymore. It's like when the hunting season ends, it really rolls right into food plot season, habitat projects, all of the above. And the Plot Start and Plot Boost have been there since the very beginning. That's a cornerstone for all of our plots. The Plot Start goes on at the beginning, Plot Boost goes on midway through. And since they came out with all of the fertilizers, that gets mixed in with the Plot Boost application as well. And I can't believe the results that we've been getting out of that.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Like I said, it's all the work now that really produces the results in the fall. So right now, anyone listening to the HUNTR Podcast can use code HUNTR, HUNTR, for 15% off any of the products at deergrow.com.
Better food plots, bigger deer. Well, also because then I didn't hunt the next, I didn't hunt that evening.
Yep, and then Sunday you didn't hunt.
And then Sunday all day?
Mm-hmm.
I took a whole day off.
Mm-hmm.
What was I doing on Sunday?
Finishing processing and stuff, I think. And then...
I ran to town. And that's right. I drove around that evening. Ran to town. I got more diesel fuel for the tractor. A loaded up on dinner and stuff for that night.
Put together a grill.
I put the grill together. Yeah, started getting us, settled into our house here a little bit. And so I didn't hunt again until Monday evening. Did I hunt Monday morning?
You hunted Monday morning.
I hunted honey hole Monday morning.
Yep.
Yeah, not great.
Nothing.
Stuff blowing at me.
Yeah, nothing much Monday morning and stuff. And then, Monday evening, right before. So Monday morning at again, this is time change has happened. So now it gets late at 6 a.m. Monday morning at 4:45, we get a picture of the biggest buck on our property cruising essentially the creek bottom there. We call it river bottom, but creek bottom. And don't see him anymore. You sit in Corn Cove. I'm in this new spot that we have in the big block of timber. I don't think either of us see much that morning because we were talking about sitting all day. And then we're like, there ain't nothing happening. So we got out, did some more stuff around the house, just got things cleaned up, got back in for the afternoon sits.
Knowing that we were going to leave Monday night after the hunt.
Yep, we were going to drive home halfway on Monday night to get home on Tuesday. And I guess I didn't see much, so it'd be your story again at this point. Yeah, and so Monday night I went back to the Corn Cove, which is where you guys have heard us talk about that probably. Just close proximity to where we, got the picture of that buck at 4:30 in the morning, and basically, long story short is, I had a great hunt. There was plenty of does that filtered in pretty, 4:30, before daylight kind of a thing, and before dark. And sure enough, here comes that 3-year-old that we got a picture of up in the Sierra. And here he comes now, and it's probably the last 30 minutes. And I hear tines on tree is what I hear. It's always a good sign. Rack in a scrape. And I look out around the tree because you're kind of having to straddle it. And I'm like, that's a bigger. And I put the binos on him. Sure enough, there he is, dark horned, big old sucker, and I'm like, holy crap, friggin' there he is. There he is. And basically the way that encounter goes is I notice pretty immediately upon seeing him that my thermals start to take over. The wind just dies off and the thermals start to pull. And that creek pulls basically back to the west. Yeah, so it has my thermals pulling in his direction. I'm like, oh no, what's going on here? And I don't think he ever, if that was just in my head or, it was a pretty quick interaction, but he, shortly after hitting that scrape starts working west and pushes all the deer, up this draw away from me out of this main kind of little food plot area that I'm hunting. So he never comes out there, never get a picture of him on the scrape that it's on right there. And he just kind of works off. And, but regardless, that was obviously enough to get me excited. We had an encounter with him, gave us some intel about, where he may be this upcoming week here and how he might use that. Yeah, because, he's definitely crossed that spot once that we know of last year. Yeah. But he does usually stay to the north side of that creek bottom. Yeah. So it was neat to see him work that edge of the creek on the other side. He's using that as a corridor for sure. And we ended up later that night getting him on the Corn Cove Trail. So he didn't cross. We were like, oh, he might have crossed the road, and he didn't. He just kind of, I don't know what he did. He looped back in there somehow and ended up coming through. He probably, I don't even know how he did. I bet he cut your mode trail right across and popped out. He might have. I would assume because we didn't get him in Corn Cove coming across. Yep. He just popped. He was just he probably did run that road. You're probably right. So that was good because two things. Number one, as far as we know, besides summer pictures, this is the earliest he's been frequenting on the farm. Last year was mid-November by the time he showed up. And then you end up seeing him in daylight a couple times at the end of November. Twice last year. We had him on camera in daylight at the end of October a couple times. So he's there. I wouldn't call him killable, but he's there. I wonder how much our CRP project has to do with that. If he just insulated that farm a lot. Yeah, he just feels pretty safe where he's at. Yep. So he's in there. We were just talking a little bit ago. We haven't seen this 10 that we were also hunting, 6.5-year-old 10. I don't know where the hell he's at, but he's kind of been. He'll just pop back up on that honey hole scrape. Yeah, it's just MIA right now. Or fence gap. And then we've got a heavier buck that's a 5.5 on the new farm that eventually usually shows up on our farm. So there's still 3 shooters running around that we know of in that area.
That was one cool one, that heavy 9, because it's like we got a lot of pictures. In fact, we had a shed off of him. Mm-hmm. Yeah, look at that. That's even a more impressive shed, honestly, almost than this one. Like from a mass standpoint.
That was him last year as what we think is a 4-year-old. Yeah, I mean, there's Kamikaze. Like from a time length standpoint, I mean, not that far off. Mm-hmm. You know, from a beam standpoint, this guy probably has a better beam, and he for sure has better mass.
Very similar, just better browse on Kamikaze.
Yep. Yeah, and a little better G3.
Yeah, that's cool. So what's cool about this one is we had a lot of pictures of this deer, and obviously found the shed here, and we hadn't had any pictures yet this year. But the seller of the 80 was like, "Check this one out," and we're like, "Oh yeah."
I was like, man, that deer's heavy, and the instant thought process again because of Kamikaze and this 10 that we're hunting was also on there is like we should know that deer.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we do. It's a deer that we called like heavy 9 or whatever.
And he packed on a lot of mass.
Yeah.
From 4 to 5.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he was already heavy as a 4-year-old, but as a 5-year-old,
that's like his noticeable characteristic. You're like, holy cow, that thing's freaking
He has a mainframe 10 or 11, just the way that his points are. Like he has a really weak G4 on the one side, but that's the same side. He has a bump from a G5 as well. Mm-hmm. But we think that deer is going to be what, high 50s-ish?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So that's a deer that's on there that we know of. You know, and there's still several other deer that could show on that property. Yeah. You know, does the legend of Crazy Horse still live? I don't freaking know. That deer, like, who knows, man? I had Crazy Horse vibes in the Corn Cove that morning here, and because that's what he does. He lives right freaking there and comes out of there.
The legend of Crazy Horse.
That deer would be like 9.
If I had to bet on it right now, I'd bet that we find him on the farm someday.
Dead?
Yeah, I bet he's laying in a ditch somewhere.
Yeah, I don't think anybody shot him.
No, I don't know.
Just dead.
I don't know.
Finally,
I don't know how, but dead.
Finally puts the burial bones down. So, or you see him this week. Because that tends to be how it goes.
It'd be something, wouldn't it?
Be freaking wild.
Yeah.
To see him. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's cool to think, you know, again, from last year, we had Crazy Horse, but we didn't have, like, you saw him, and we had gaps of, like, no encounters or pictures with him, and then we never saw him again. Mm-hmm. It was like one time. Mm-hmm. The 11, which is the big one that you were just talking about, that was a deer that we pursued pretty hard last year. Yep. The 10, which is one we just said that we don't have a lot of pictures of, he kind of disappeared, but we hunted him hard last year as a 5-year-old 9-point, and that was it last year. Like, we didn't really have anyone else. Now we've got this deer that's alive. So, you know, we still have three shooter bucks in that general vicinity, and a lot of food, a lot of cover. So the crops, just so people who aren't familiar with that area, like, we're in a sea of ag out there, thousands and thousands and thousands of acres of big ag. And we've got these cover points that are along the major creek bottoms and river fronts. And when we were out there this past week, all the corn's coming down. So, like, these deer are losing thousands of acres of insulation and cover. And so typically I think what happens is, like, the week-ish afterwards, most of those deer still hang in those spots because there's fresh corn potentially on the ground, mm-hmm. and they don't feel violated. Like, they feel open, but they don't feel violated. But as that corn starts to go away from what's been cut and the realization that they're, like, in the open, there is not cover, I think that's when you start to see more movement, probably in the time frame we're talking 9th to the 18th, 20th of November, mm-hmm. to find better cover, which the does are doing right now, mm-hmm. and then ultimately to find does and food at the same time. And our farm's set up really well for that.
If I had to, you know, if we were going to keep, like, trying to, you know, look ahead and see what this farm is going to do here, I think next year is going to be even better because of the amount of late season food that we have on it, mm-hmm. and how far the cover has been developed. I think there's going to be deer that find it or come in and spend more time than they have in the past, mm-hmm. during the late season if we get a tough winter. And I think that some of them are going to stick. Yeah,
I mean, that becomes the $1 million question, right? Because if I look at the crop coming up, like, we have a really big 4-year-old who will be a monster next year.
Maybe, yeah, if
he makes it.
I almost got to stop putting my faith in 4-year-olds because, like,
but I'm just saying, beyond that, like, we don't have a lot of 4-year-olds to turn into 5-year-olds.
Yeah. They have a way of manifesting though. Like they kind of like will turn up and you'll be like, who's this 4-year-old? Where he'd come, maybe that's what shows up in the late season.
Maybe.
And you're like, oh dude, that's a dandy.
Yeah. And then next year it carries over into it. So yeah, I mean, that's the cool part about that farm is like it has the potential to, like, there's plenty of guys we were even talking to last week as the corn's coming down. They're like, yeah, my shooter's not even there yet. And I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, he's just not there yet. Like, as this corn comes down and it'll settle out a little bit, like, give it another week and I'll finally see him. Yeah. Like, there's just a confidence of they're there. They haven't done the thing that they've done yet.
Look at that, like, Webby 4-year-old that just showed up there. There's another one. You're like, where did that friggin' thing come from? Yeah. I'd be very surprised if another one, shooter or not, doesn't show up before the end of, like, when I leave.
That 3-year-old that just showed up's a stud. That
Which was that?
The one that showed up on that corner that I was hunting. The one I sent you this morning.
With the kicker?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a new one?
Yeah.
That's the one you saw, right?
No.
Oh, it's not?
No, that's a way bigger one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's at the far northeast corner of our farm. That's not the 9 that I saw on the new farm.
Northeast corner of our farm. Yeah, is that a 3-year or a 4-year-old?
I think that's a 3-year-old.
Oh, okay. I was saying. Oh, this one here.
Yeah.
He's not new.
You sure?
Yeah, he's been around a lot.
I've not seen him ever.
You have. I'll pull some pictures. He's been on us a pretty good amount.
Recently?
Yep. I don't know about super recently, but throughout this year. Yeah, he's been there.
Yeah, there's probably 3.
I agree. Yep, I think that's 3. Here's that other 3-year-old. He's decent.
Yep.
Old wishbone thing. Let me find that.
That other one I sent is a 4-year-old. That heavy dude with just like kickers and stuff.
That's the one you saw. Yep. That's a nice deer.
Yeah, I think that's a big 3-year-old.
Big 3-year-old. Yep, he's nice. And then that 4-year-old is the real Webby thing. You know what I'm talking about?
The one that that we got pictures of the other day.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean they're in there for sure. And I mean I think again as we progress through does coming in and out of estrus.
That's him, right?
Yep, that's him.
Yeah.
And food becoming more of a priority and cover is now limited because the crops are down. All of those factors play into our farm better, I think.
Yep.
So yeah. So I mean that's a big part of it. That's exciting to just know what that's kind of out there still. And let's see, this is dropping Tuesday. You're out there right now.
I think the best thing I can do for that farm is shoot the big one. You know what I mean? Free up some space.
Yeah.
He wasn't like, it's not like I've seen that many deer in that age class, if any, I mean.
Yeah, you've seen some.
Very few, you know what I mean?
You shot one in Iowa last year.
Yeah, Iowa, but very brief encounter. You know what I mean? I saw what he did. A floppy, and he was kind of this way, same way, where the similar mentality, I would say, like
he just owns it.
They own it, and he's not like shying away, like passive type thing. He's he's a bull.
Yeah,
and when he stands up, everybody scatters.
Everybody's like shit.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's a giant.
Get him out of there. That 4-year-old might feel a little more comfortable to drop down in the bottom, or
very possible. I did smell something dead in our woods. Yeah. I don't know what that is.
Remember you said that.
Yeah, that didn't give me a great feeling of that. Not that I think it's EHD or anything. I'm just wondering if somebody shot one and it ran in there. But yeah, I mean, there's nobody notably that I'm missing besides that 10, but yeah, that's it.
Okay.
So you caught on something?
Sorry. Yeah. Getting this bike fixed here.
Oh.
Next weekend. Okay. Sorry. Just make sure it's addressed.
So yeah, I mean, I think that's the big goal. So we've got this big cold front coming through, or if you're listening to this, it just came through. So you will be out there Sunday to Wednesday hunting?
I think Thursday morning would be my last hunt.
Thursday morning's the last hunt. Okay, Sunday to Thursday morning.
Leave by noon.
Yep.
Get home with 2 days to turn around and
go to Kansas.
Do it all over again.
Yep. That sounds right. So what's your expectations?
I'm expecting to kill him.
Is that the deer you're going in for? Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are you going to kill him?
Well, I guess we'll see, but like, you could draw a circle pretty confidently of where he's at. So it's just a matter of...
Yeah, I mean, it's only one of 3 spots, basically 4 spots.
Yep, 3 or 4 spots.
And I mean, wind-oriented, limited.
The only one that I'm like question mark on how it's going to come together would be Corn Cove. And if we do, any more pull a blind in there or doing any more mowing or, so we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm expecting to see him probably. I don't like if that 10 like ran through Honey Hole or something and like daylight, I'm like, I'm not saying I wouldn't jump over there and try him, because I'd also really like to shoot that deer. But so I'm not like stuck on it's him or bust necessarily, but like it's obviously not any deer that are on the 80 because I can't be there. So it's either the 11 or it's the 10. We have a great naming system.
Yeah, those are it. Yeah, and
didn't I come up with a great name for him?
One's a 12, anyways.
Yeah. Well, whatever they are. I thought I had a pretty good name for him at one point. It slipped through our fingers.
I don't remember.
Oh, it was a really good one too. Why did that not stick? It was on the way we were driving out there, and I was like, "Oh, we'll call him."
I was just calling him Epstein because he's always on this island out there.
Epstein. Maybe that was it. I don't know.
But yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm just gonna hunt him where he's at, and try to be smart. I'm gonna put a lot of time in the stand, for sure. No downtime. Like, I'll just get down and go to another one, or I'll sit it all day. I'll e-bike in and out since we don't have the tractor drop off stuff. However we're gonna do that, and just freaking play the game.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna be in there, and I'm sure at parts of it because of the time frame, he's gonna be doed up for some of it.
Yeah.
It's just catching them on and off the does for sure. Right place, right time type of thing. Just the way he moves. I expect him to make an appearance at Pinch a Pinch.
Yeah, me too.
I just don't think he can kill him there because I don't think he can get the shot off in the beans.
Yeah. Well, that's not good. I mean,
I know.
That has me wonder if I should just run in there and freaking mow, like raise the thing all the way up. Is what I would do. That's what I would do. Because there still would be plenty of beans on that. I would just mow a 20, 30-yard circle, 20-yard circle.
Yeah, just mow like a half moon right in front of you.
Half little moon right there, yep. That's what I would do.
Yeah, because I
also don't know if he's going to come and be in them beans. Like,
that's where them does are.
Yeah.
They just drop in there and eat, and he's going to come and ruffle them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, sure. That spot's definitely on the radar too.
So I would think about that on a Saturday, mowing a little bit of those beans just to give you an opening, because it just, even with how big he is, like you're going to be deflecting off of beans on the way in, and you don't want that beast to deploy or something else to happen. So
okay,
but
I'll think about that.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I think other than that, it's a good
problem to have. I guess your beans are too tall.
They're too tall. Yeah, too tall. The HUNTR Podcast is brought to you by Beast Broadheads.
Dude, Beast Broadheads. Man, we've been advocating for and shooting expandable, especially big expandable broadheads for years and years now. And it just seems like they just keep making them better and better. And ultimately, with the relationship we've forged with the Belmars this past year, we're just super excited to be shooting the Beast Broadheads this year.
I mean, this broadhead it's the world's sharpest expandable broadhead out there. It has best penetration, and it's got bone avoiding technology. Ultimately, we want to create the most trauma possible on a deer when we release an arrow. The Beast Broadhead does that for us every time.
So right now you can use code HUNTR, HUNTR, for a discount on anything on the Beast website. So definitely go check out beastbroadheads.com.
So yeah, I mean, so that's the big one, I think, on the radar. Then if you're listening to this on Sunday, we are driving out to Kansas. And so we've got 5 guys going out to Kansas. We start hunting on Monday.
Yep.
And we're there all week. That Thursday, which I'll look at, I think it's Thursday the 20th, is our live from Kansas Deer Camp with the dads, featuring Uncle Dale.
I've told him about it.
Special guest appearance.
I've told him about it in the past, and he's like gently acknowledged it, but so when it'll have to be a here and now, like, hey, we're doing it, let's jump on,
Yeah. Thursday night.
Uncle Dale's not big on technology,
It's all right. He's just got to put headphones on and just talk.
Yeah. There's no like interacting with technology in this case here, but he's just he's a private guy, and he's not one to put his business out there. Neither are our dads.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to,
I don't know. Him and my dad can just start throwing yinzers at each other or something. Yeah. So
what it'll be is he'll just, he'll
soak it in.
No, he'll tell you what a little brat I used to be, and
Well, that's what it's all about.
yeah. So it'll be fun.
Yeah, that'll be fun. So Thursday night we're gonna do that. I assume probably earlier because we have the time change. So I would assume it's probably like 7:30 Central would be my guess, something like that.
Cool.
So we'll keep you updated on that. We'll get Nick to post something and let everybody in on that knowledge. But yeah, we're excited. So people have asked. We're at Antler Creek Whitetails is where we're hunting with Roger.
Yep.
And that's northeast Kansas. I don't know exactly what county it is. Atchison.
Yeah, we're like units 10, 11.
Yeah.
10, 11, I think.
Something like
maybe
that.
some stuff in 12. But yeah, northeast Kansas is where we're at.
Yep.
And yeah, it'll be our first time with Roger. We've been keeping in touch with him ever since Eastern Outdoor Sportsman shows, where we got connected with him initially. And well, even before that, but that's where we met him.
We were chatting just through Instagram and stuff.
In person where we hooked up for the first time. And so he's got some really good deer. And some I'm sure of which he hasn't shared with us and stuff. And so he's had a couple groups of hunters in already. They've killed a couple decent deer, I think. And so it's going to be an all new experience. I know for sure there's some farms that I don't think have been hunted, so that's fun.
It's my first outfitted hunt. Speaking of new experiences, like I've never been on an outfitted hunt before.
Yeah, you'll like it. I mean, dude, it's not like they shoot the deer for you. Like,
oh yeah, I hope not.
Do you know what I mean? Especially all it is like the inconveniences of thinking about having to go grocery shopping.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
I do like being the camp bitch though. Like
know.
if I kill something early, like I like that. I'll just be a semi guide with Roger at that point.
And I'm sure he'll take you up on that. It's just in this case, there's a lot of mouths to feed. There's a lot of it's like we got 3 guys now on top of us to get to stands and make sure.
Oh yeah,
they're having a fun
hunt. That is the
and
hardest part. I mean, even when it was just you and I in Kansas, it's like drop you off, I have to get back, got to get in the stand, or vice versa. Like it takes some extra time and thought process. Five guys, like when it was the 4 of us in Kansas with the dads, like it was a lot to get dropped off and like, be blowing down a dirt road to try to get to your stand before it cracks daylight.
Yep, it's a lot.
So yeah, that will be a really nice thing to know that the dads are getting into their stands and stuff. They're getting picked up and yeah.
What was that song? It's called Chasing You. It's like chasing you.
I don't know.
A shot of whiskey. You know that song?
No.
That was the Kansas vibe 2 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You know how you lock in on a song and it's just that's the vibe for the trip there?
Well, I think we can only go up from Kansas vibe last year or 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was tough.
Right? We didn't have a good hunt at all. Was that the year you saw the booner late or no? No, it wasn't last year or 2 years ago.
Which booner?
You saw one down below Roberts when you were like walking down to like see your dad or something.
Was that last year?
No.
I mean, not last year, but was that yeah, it would have been 2 years ago.
I think so.
Yeah. Well, Dad was hunting down there. Yeah, so I was
that
just
when
walking
he
in.
slung 2 arrows?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm assuming, yeah. Because that was the same year
and my dad
CJ shot that. CJ Alexander shot that. That was, so that was like 2 years ago.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, we're in a whole new area of Kansas, which is exciting in itself.
Yeah.
Just to be in a new spot, new area, not something that we haven't experienced or been into before. We really like that time frame.
Mm-hmm.
So that week has always been good to us. Asterisk the weather. And according to right now, we're going to hit it right. So we've got a little bit of a front coming through. It's going to be warm and rainy. The day that we start hunting, basically mid 50s and 30s for the foreseeable future, which
lock it in.
Because I mean, we've hunted
do the work.
many of weeks in that third week of November in like 70s.
Yeah.
And it was not good.
Yeah.
It's tough. I mean, they moved morning and at dark, but like it was tough. That's tough hunts.
Yeah. No. So hopefully we get the weather and we'll lock in. We've been doing some back and forth with Roger, and I think we've done everything we can do to, we'll take 2 trucks. I think Dad and Dale and I will take Dad's truck probably, and you guys can take yours, and we'll take our 13 hours to get out there, and we'll just drive through the day, which is way better. We'll stop. We'll get Cracker Barrel with the old guys. And,
I like Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, I was referring to you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I like Cracker Barrel. I like that. Yeah. I like a little country fried steak.
Yeah, who doesn't,
Yeah, man, get me into that stuff.
Yeah, so we'll take a nice leisurely, trip out there. That'll be nice. And, we'll give it heck for a week.
Crazy, man.
Some arrows will be flung, I can guarantee you that. That's a guarantee.
Yeah, that is a guarantee. There will be arrows flung. I don't know. It's always it's funny. We've done this Kansas trip enough. Obviously, new place, but it's every time I'm like, man, how cool would it be to come back with like 3 racks out of 4 or whatever, two and then
we're due for one.
I think that I remember one year my dad and I came back with 2. That was the year you didn't draw and Steve was there. Mm-hmm. We came back with 2. But beyond that, I think it's always been like 1.
Yep.
1 for 4. Doesn't mean that there was only 1 arrow slung. Usually a bunch.
Yeah.
4 arrows slung, 1 dead.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we're due for a high odds or a high success rate.
So weather looks good in a new place. Excited to hunt with those guys. I'd have just a nice camp and good food, and yeah, it should be a fun week. Mm-hmm. Should be a fun week. So that it?
I think so. We're going to do a podcast with Roger too, that owns that outfit. So that'll drop sometime after that trip. So
right around Thanksgiving.
Yeah, if anybody's interested in checking out what they do out there, and we're going to probably dig into, we've never just had an outfitter on to talk about that business and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm sure we'll get into the weeds on that too. So that'd be kind of cool.
You can guarantee we'll get into the weeds on that one.
Yep.
For sure. So yeah, that'll be a fun one. That'll drop sometime around Thanksgiving.
We'll have to do it towards the end of the trip in case you piss them off.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be fine. Or I'm already tagged out. One of the two.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, I think that'll be good. And then we've got some other good ones coming up here. We were just kind of looking at our lineup, trying to get people laid out here for the next few weeks. I'm just trying to think. Thursday. So if you're listening to this on Tuesday, Thursday's a really cool one that you're gonna tune into for sure. You'll
leave us hanging. Who's Thursday?
That would be Hoyt.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, lots of cool stuff to discuss there on that one. Anyways, we appreciate everyone listening to HUNTR Podcast, episode 285?
Mm-hmm.
Question mark?
Yep.
With just Jared and I.
You got it.
And Kamikaze making a special appearance.
Kamikaze.
Featuring Kamikaze.
There he is one last time.
I hope people appreciate, it's cool that, really, because, again, you just heard us talk about the 11 and the 9, and we don't name deer, but, after dodging those 2 bullets and then walking by you and just the movement he made, it was such a cool name for him, and, just to know that he was very killable this year. Was awesome.
Dude, and how cool was it? Finding that shed, that was a lot of fun.
It was awesome.
Passing him last year. Did we see him in person any other time? I don't think we did.
I don't think we saw
just
him.
A lot of pictures.
A lot of pictures. Also, note we talked about he field dressed 220.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big deer.
Yep.
It's 260-pound deer probably on the hoof.
Yep.
So he was a mammoth. I bet that big one is 260 on the hoof. Or field dress.
You think so?
I think that's all over.
That'd be a lot.
I think that's all over a 300-pound deer.
Yeah, he maybe. I'm gonna say 250. We'll put a wager on it. I'll say 2. I'm gonna say 250, 245 to 250.
Field dressed.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll go 260.
Okay.
Just to get him to the 300.
Boy, that would be something.
That's a monster.
I wish we'd weighed.
Floppy.
Floppy. He was big.
Yeah.
He was real big. His head was enormous.
Yeah. A little floppier.
Yeah. He's the oldest I've ever. Well, no, the Iowa buck. We didn't weigh him either. We didn't have a scale.
No.
That was a big deer.
You didn't take a incisor off him either.
I did. I have it at the house.
Did you take one off him?
In the freezer. Nah.
I thought about asking you. I mean, I'm 99% sure he's 5.5, but just for record.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we appreciate everyone listening to this podcast, and we will catch you next week.
Later.
Take me